Diamonds are forever, but they will never shine like you and I. We're drinking, smoking, falling every night. Lay with me until we die.
Hi, my name is Sean Tallman. I'm a recording and mixing engineer based here in Los Angeles, California. We're here at NRG Studio B with Sizzy Rocket, and we're gonna make her sound amazing today.
Stay with me tonight. I need someone here who I can't believe in. Devil in my mind is high on the freedom, high on the feeling.
So now that we recorded Sizzy's vocal, it's time to set up her vocal chain. I start with the pre-76 using the high pass filter at 80 and 300. I do that because 80 hertz is going to get rid of all the mud in her lower vocal, and the 300 hertz is going to get rid of all the boxiness in her vocal. I bring down in the low tone just a touch and bring up the high tone just a touch. From there, I go to the comp 76. I'm using a pretty fast attack and really slow release at about 16 dB on each side. This brings out her vocal, smooths it out, doesn't compress it too much, but catches all the peaks that I need to catch. The main plugin that inspires me is your guys' stay level model. I was a huge fan, still am a huge fan of the hardware unit. And over the years, as I've turned into more of a hybrid mixing engineer, I've stopped to use some of the hardware units and have moved on to using more plugins. And I was pleasantly surprised when I got the stay level from you guys. It sounds exactly like the original unit with all the imperfections that engineers and mixers like me are looking for. I pulled the tube stay and use a double mode and a fast attack time. I slowly bring up the input. And when I feel the vocal has become forward enough, I stop. From there, it's time to add some EQ to make her vocal pop out and to add a little bit of shine. To do that, I'm going to roll off just a little bit more low end now that we've compressed. And I'm going to find out where the power is in her vocal. By doing that, I sweep the filters to find where the most power is in her vocal. I see it's right around there. I bring that back. Now she's got a nice, powerful mid-range. Now it's time to add a little bit of top end. I go to the top end here on this 173. Bring out a little bit of sizzle.
But they will never shine like you and I.
Sounding good. All right, so now that we have Sizzy lay down her vocals, we got our comps and everything sounding awesome performance-wise, it's time to make her vocal sound great effects-wise. The first thing I want to add to her is a plate to create depth and movement within the vocal itself, to create a space for her to shine within it. For that, I decided to go to the Plate 140. It's a beautiful sounding plugin. I'm a huge fan of plate reverbs, and this is one of the best representations in plugin form that I've heard. One of the best things about it is that you're able to drive the input just like a real plate reverb. So now that I've been able to create a nice bit of space, it's time to add thickness to her vocal. A lot of people ask me, how do I create a thick vocal without creating more reverb? And the answer is tape delay. For that, I use the tape 201 here, using just one repeat, but feeding quite a bit of it from the main track into the aux track. That creates thickness without more reverb. And now, as you can hear, the vocal sounds thick, present, but with
Diamonds are
space.
forever.
So now it's time to go and create space for that vocal to live in outside of just the initial lead vocal. For that, we're going to add delay. I went to the delay eternity, created a filtered delay
Smoking, falling every night.
using with a quarter note and an eighth note with a medium feedback. Now, I felt that was getting in the way of the vocal just a little bit too much. It sounded great, but it needed to get moved out of the way a little bit so the initial lead vocal could really stand out. To do that, I added a rev intensity reverb that's modulating the delay. And there you go. We have space, we have presence, we have effects, we have movement, and now it's time to see what it sounds like in the mix. So now that we have everything feeling right, I felt like in this moment, there needed to be something special to really bring out her vocal and to really make the bridge vocal rise above all else. I'll play you what she has in this section. It's a sweet, tender part of the song, but it's still got a little bit of psychedelia to it. And I thought to myself, what's better than to use the Memory Brigade to create a dub style delay. So in this section, I made a quarter triplet and eighth note triplet delay going left and right that would come in and on this section. Now it adds that trippy delay, King Tubby sound, makes it even bigger and badder. I've worked with multiple genres over the years, been in the business for over 20 years. I've worked with Outkast, Jill Scott, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Katy Perry, Gwen Stefani, Rihanna, Beyonce, Prince. One of the things that I love about the flexibility of the Arturia plugins is it allows you to print effects into your DAW, which saves me a lot of time when I'm recording a band or an artist. I'm able to actually record the plugins and stick with the sound and marry a sound before I even get to the mixing stage. My template is constantly changing. There's some things that have been in there for 5 years. There's some things that have been in there for 5 weeks. I'm constantly changing the way that I work because music is constantly changing. There's always going to be things that work perfectly for the right moment, but music is always changing and you have to change with it.